Okay, this seems to be working. And this one seems to be working. I'm still trying to figure out the correct settings for both YouTube and Substack. I'm still getting set up. I just moved, so hopefully the sound and everything's okay. And I'm using a different setup tonight, so hopefully it'll work okay. Sorry I didn't get to post a video last week. I was sick the week before, and then I was moving this week, so I had a lot going on. I'm only going to look at one song tonight because I've been real busy this week. But I had, just by chance, come across several songs by, well, I'll say they were by Waylon Jennings. It turns out they were, at least one of them was written by someone else. But he recorded both of them. And I know Willie Nelson also recorded this one, the Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. Turns out it was written by a couple, Ed and Patsy Bruce. But Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson both recorded versions of it. And they both had, I guess it's fair to say, hits with it. So that's where we all probably know it from. So I'm going to look at that one tonight. So I'll just look at one tonight. Let's see. So this one has some pretty standard chords. The first one is a D7. So the D7, and we've seen this in another song along the way, a standard D would look like this. So a standard D would be your index finger on the second fret, third string from the bottom, your second finger on the same second fret, bottom string, and then your ring finger on the third fret, second string from the bottom. So that would be a standard D. But a D7 is you take this ring finger and you replace it with the first fret on the second string. And it's just easier to change the way you finger it, but just because of that, no other reason. So instead, so I'm still going to start with the second fret, third string from the bottom, but I'm going to use my second finger. Also on the second fret, again, bottom string, but now I'm going to use my ring finger there. And now I'm going to use my index finger on the first fret on the second string from the bottom. And that's a D7. And you start with the third from the top string, which is the open D string. And if you ever find yourself needing to alternate between those two in a song, you can keep this shape and use your pinky to grab the traditional standard D, and then when you lift it back up, you get the D7. So that's one way you can go between the two. So in this song, that's the first chord, D7. The next chord that shows up is a standard G. So we're going to start by using our second finger on the top string on the third fret. I'm left-handed, so just mirror me if you're not. On the second fret, second string from the top, we're going to use our index finger. And then on the very bottom string, also on the third fret, I'm going to use my ring finger. And then you play all strings. Then they go from G to G7. G7, this one, the one that we're going to use, that they're showing, we're going to start on the first fret, bottom string with the index finger. We're going to use our ring finger again on the top string on the third fret, and we're going to use our second finger on the second fret, second string from the top. That's a G7. And hopefully you notice that these two, again, are in common. It's just we're using different fingers, almost like what we just went through with the D versus D7. So these two were in both of the chords. It's just in the G standard, you're using your finger on the 3rd fret on the bottom string. And then on a G7, you're using your index finger on the 1st fret. So if you wanted to, you could do the same thing I mentioned earlier. If you ever needed to go between the two, you could start with this G7 and then use your pinky to grab that 3rd string. So you can go between them like that. That sometimes helps. Sometimes you'll have a song like this one on the sheet music. And by the way, I got the sheet music from musicnotes.com. I'm not sponsored by them, but I really like the site. And if you're just starting out, it's very helpful because you can buy a particular song without having to buy an entire book of songs. But some songs, they'll show the standard G like this one does right in front of the G7. This is a slow song, so it probably wouldn't matter because it's going to be easy to move my fingers to do one and then the other. So it's not a big deal here. But if you ever had a fast tempo song where it's going to be hard to move your fingers and you had G in front of G7, you could start by using the fingering for a G7, but then add your pinky. So you would be getting the G and then you would just lift up the pinky to go to G7. So that might help someone. The next chord is a C, a standard C. So it's going to be 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom is the index finger. I'm going to jump up to the 3rd fret, 2nd string from the top. I'm going to put my ring finger there. And then on the 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top, I'm going to put my 2nd finger there. For some reason, I just find it easier to do them in that order. I like to grab the bottom, grab the top, and then the middle for this one. For some reason, it works easy for me. And then you're going to strum starting at that next to the top string, which gives you the bass C in the C chord. Let's see. Then the next chord that shows up is D7. You just saw that one. Let me see what else shows up. I'm trying to use my pedal to. There it went. So let's see. That's. Okay, so D7 we've already covered. G7, C, D7, G, D7. Yeah, this is another one of those ones where it turns out the chords are pretty standard. So if you're just starting out, this would be a fun one if you like country music. If you like traditional country music, that's from the age of like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. This is one that was a hit back then, and the chords are pretty basic. So I'll try and play through it once. Let's see. I'll try to remember to call out the chords in case someone's using this to go along with it. So it starts out with the D7. And it goes to G. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up. G7. To be cowboys. D7. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Make them be doctors and lawyers and G7. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be G7. Cowboy. Oh, I'm sorry. Then, yeah, G7 and then C. Cowboys. Cause they'll D7. Never stay home and they're always alone. Even with someone they G know. D7, then it jumps right to G. Cowboy ain't easy to love. G7, and he's harder to see home. And it D7 means more to him to give you a song than silver or G gold. G. Budweiser buckles and G7. D7, so faded. So faded. Sorry, the sheet music double back on. So faded. Oh, okay, sorry. Just a glitch in my pedal. So faded Levi's and C. Each night begins a new day. D7, if you can understand him and he don't die young, I'll probably just ride away. G. Sorry, I'm having pedal issues. And it goes back and does the second verse. I'll try one more playthrough without the stopping for the chords. Let's see. It starts with the D7, then I'll let you try and do it yourself. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Make them be doctors and lawyers and sons. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they'll never stay home and they're always alone, even with someone they love. Now a cowboy loves smoky old pool rooms and clear mountains. Little warm puppies and children and girls of the night. Them that don't know him won't like him, and them that do sometimes won't know how to take him. He's not wrong, he's just different, and his pride won't let him do the things that make him think that he's right. I'll stop there. I've never heard this whole song before. That was funny. Some of the lyrics were different than I was expecting. Well, I hope this is helpful to someone that's just starting out. And I'll try and do another one. I'll try and get back to my weekly schedule at least. I was doing 2 songs in each one of these videos, but I feel like I'm rushing it when I do that. So I may split them up. I may try and do like one on the weekend and one like on a Wednesday night. So if you are following, just a heads up on that. I'll try and do that and see how that goes. Thanks.